In the triangle ABC, the measure of angle B is 90 degrees and BD is an altitude of the triangle. The length of AB is 15 and the length of AC is 23 greater than the length of AB. What is the value of BC over BD? So let's try this question together, y'all. I'm gonna be honest, this is not an easy question. We actually need a good bit of background info to be able to work this out. So let me start off by just sharing this. There's a topic in geometry known as geometric means. Sorry, escaped me for a little while. And I've already drawn it on screen so that I'm just going to ask you to follow along. In this diagram, you will see three triangles. There's the little one, which I've named ABD. On the left side, there's the medium-sized triangle, which is on the right side, BDC, and then there's the biggest one, ABC. Now, to find different lengths in this triangle, you're going to need to know these three rules that I've just written down here. There's this rule here, h squared to find the hypotenuse. The altitude. It's h squared times xy to find the hypotenuse of the middle triangle. It's a squared equals y times b. And then to find the hypotenuse of the smallest triangle, it's c squared equals x times b. Now, how do we apply this to this question? Let's go ahead and draw it. Let's go ahead and draw this question out. I've actually gone ahead and done that ahead of time. And I just literally plugged in what we were given. So because we want BD and we also want BC, I'm going to focus on finding this one right here using this formula, and I'm going to focus on finding BC based on this formula right here. So let's hop in. Let's start by finding the altitude. So based on the formula, h squared equals x times y. So there's nothing much we can do because we don't have a whole lot of numbers provided there. So let's switch focus and try to find BC. So BC, let's call that little lowercase a, right? So we're going to say a squared equals y times the whole length, which is 38. So we can solve for y here. We can solve for y by dividing both sides by 38, like that. And we end up getting y equals a squared over 38. Now remember, for this equation here, it features y. So we can plug in the y value that we just found into it. But before we do that, let's try to figure out what x is. So to find x right here, we're going to apply the other rule, which is the I guess we can call this the blue rule. So it says 15 squared equals x times 38. And then we can solve for x by saying 15 squared divided by 38. So now we have x and we have y. We can plug those into the h equation. So h squared equals 15 squared over 38 times the y value that we found earlier, which is a squared over 38. So when you do the math here, you will find h, let me move this over here. You will find that h, when you square root both sides, h equals 15a over 38. I found that by simply square rooting this and square rooting that. All right, so now that we know h, we basically have BD. We just need to figure out what BC is. Okay, so we might have actually done an unnecessary step here. I think we just need a squared. So let's see. If we have a squared equals y times 38, to solve for BC, which I renamed to a, we just need to square root here and square root this thing right here. So we end up having a equals the square root of 38y. So this here is square root of 38y, and that's BC. And then h was 15a over 38. So let's do the math here for these two. We're going to end up having BC, which is square root of 38y, over BD, which is 15a over square root of 38. So keep, change, flip says we got to keep the first fraction and flip the second fraction to square root of 38 over 15. So square root of 38 times square root of 38 becomes 38 over 15. So D is the correct answer to that question.